I'm here with Rebecca Avern. She's a pediatric acupuncturist, author of the textbook Acupuncture for Babies, Children, and Teenagers, treating both the illness and the child is her textbook. She has courses online and healthy seminars for treating pediatric insomnia, and her latest, The Importance of Nurturing the Young to Raise Happy, Healthy Children. And I wanted to have a quick little shout out and discussion with Rebecca, because it seems like in this day and age, people are struggling with anxiety. There's more chronic and weird illnesses going on. And there's that idea of an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. And so, yes, we treat the adults, but you're suggesting, hey, let's start working on these babies so they grow up to be mentally, emotionally, and physically better off. Is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yes, absolutely. So we know that the first years of life are about building foundations. And if you have strong foundations, then that will see you through the turbulent times that inevitably come along for all of us as adults. So I think that Chinese medicine and Chinese medicine philosophy have so much to offer about what we can do, both with acupuncture, but also just with the way that we raise our children to make those foundations really strong. And I think we're missing a trick here, because we have this wonderful medicine with so much to offer, and not very many children and teenagers are accessing it. So it's my mission to get it out there. But this course is particularly not necessarily only for pediatric acupuncturists, but for parents or for practitioners of adults who want to share tips for their adult patients that they can pass on to their children about how to build strong foundations and to bring up children to be resilient and healthy.
And so this will be through Rebecca's course, The Importance of Nurturing the Young to Raise Happy, Healthy Children, on healthyseminars.com. And I'm excited that you're going to talk about the philosophy of Chinese medicine with respect to this, because there's a massive new age thought movement about how your thoughts create your reality, that your external environment is a reflection of your internal environment, and happiness doesn't come from the right spouse, the right car, the right money. It is an internal thing that's generated, and then it manifests externally, or your experience, your perception on a subconscious level is you're happy. And there's all this new age thought movement, and Chinese medicine talks about this. So you're going to go into that a little bit as well in your course on the importance of nurturing the young to raise happy, healthy children. So I can nurture my inner child by watching the course.
Absolutely. It can apply to adults too. Yes, we all have an inner child, most definitely. And I think that for parents, it's really, really confusing, because there is so much contradictory advice out there, but a lot of it's focused on the kind of micro of what we do with our children on a day-to-day basis. And it's about, for example, how to get them to eat their green vegetables at meal times, rather than about how to nurture a lifelong healthy relationship with food. And there's a lot about Chinese medicine philosophy that goes kind of underneath that micro stuff that actually gets in the way of spontaneous parenting. That really is incredibly beneficial for children. So I'm going to be largely talking about that. I'm not talking about how to give them acupuncture. I'm talking about how to use Chinese medicine philosophy in the way that we create the context of bringing up children, how we deal with them when they're ill, what they need in the first years of life, that tricky balance between how much to expose them to new unfamiliar things and how much to protect them, how much rest relative to activity they should have. And I'm going to deal with some very specific 21st century problems that in my clinic come up time and time again, like how we deal with screen time, how we get our children to sleep the right number of hours, and that kind of thing.
what all us parents have been looking for, a manual to help raise our children so they are healthy and happy and well adjusted. So I'm really excited you're doing this. This is on demand at healthyseminars.com, under the presenter, Rebecca Avern. You can see that. She also has a textbook, Acupuncture for Babies, Children and Teenagers. And Rebecca and I, the idea of putting this course online, the Integrated Fertility Symposium for 2020 has a self-care track. And Rebecca and I were chatting about the importance of being conscious parents and how raising children and what we can do to help these children grow up to be happy, healthy, thriving, like she mentioned, their relationship to food rather than eat your greens. And we're like, let's get this out before the IFS 2020. So this is that self-care idea. This seems to be what humanity needs. So Rebecca, thank you very much for putting this lecture together. And this is something that you will benefit for your own inner child. If you have children, or if you want children, or if you've ever been a child, this course will work for you. All right, check out Rebecca at healthyseminars.com. She also has a lecture on pediatric insomnia as well. And this one, I think, if you're into that self-care and that thought movement of changing yourself on the inside, so your experience of life is positive, happy, and healthy, then this is a great lecture to start with. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thanks, Sūn.